Call the Finance Committee meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the June 3rd minutes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the update. Mrs. Bartlett.
Thank you. What I've done is distribute the financials as of 6:30 as of this time. As you know, 6:30 is our year-end timeframe, but for the next 4 to 5 weeks, we'll be working on the outstanding purchase orders that we have, cleaning those up, doing year-end entries. So right now, I'll probably have a better idea when we meet in August as to what our surplus will be on the operating budget. As for food service, we've had some great claim numbers because of all the lunches being free, breakfast and lunch being free. So my original estimate, we're probably going to be about a $350,000 deficit instead of the 600 or even 800 that we were projecting due to the amount of claims that we've been able to get over the last few months. Other than that, revenues came in very well as well. And so, again, August, I'll have a better idea what our surplus is.
Any questions for Mrs. Bartlett? Thank you. I'm glad to see that the food service is going the right way for a change. That's nice.
Listen, if I could just comment on that. So, as you know, Fresh Picks Cafe is our new food service company. They did about a week ago meet and greet with all our employees, and it went over very well. I think our staff is looking forward to some change and some new ways of doing things, and they were not shy of asking questions or, look, this is what we used to do, I don't want to do it that way anymore, we'll work on that. And Fresh Picks was very nice in saying, if things are working, don't need to fix it kind of stuff. So I think some people are set in their ways on certain things, but it went at least an hour and a half, and they brought goodies for them. And it was a very, very nice thing for them to do right before they left for the summer.
Good. Mr. Pappas?
Just a quick question on that. Did the district get, or have they named a sort of a general manager assigned to Rochester?
I believe they're right now interviewing a few people, yes. And hopefully soon we'll find out who our food service manager is.
Okay, thank you.
We have their direct report though, Frank, I believe.
Yes, the
He'll
regional
be-
manager.
And he'll be around a lot at the beginning of the year. He made it very clear to all the staff that he was there to support them and learn about all of the routines and rituals that have worked, but also for them to be willing to try some new things to engage the kids. And like Linda said, it went over really, really well with the staff.
Good. Any other questions for Mrs. Clark? Seeing none, move on to item number 3, recommendation of Jerry Grossman as school attorney.
So this is Jerry's contract ended. It was a 2-year contract. My recommendation is to retain Jerry's services for another 2 years at the same rate and increase that we followed in the past. So I don't know if anyone has a motion or questions. Well, 3% increase.
Yeah,
Can I ask another question? Do we normally not go out for bid for that?
I don't ever,
I was just curious.
yeah, I don't know the answer to that, honestly. I don't know. Ms. Boyer?
So historically, I hadn't seen that his contract was going to bid, usually retaining just from experience of legal services where they're gonna have to be involved regardless if you switch to a new lawyer, if there's any pending or existing items that they're working on. So that's one of those things that usually is an auto renew. However, it's a point, it's a contract, right? And usually you do look at your services. But that was just giving some input on legal. Usually it does carry over, unless there's some gross reason why we do not want to
Mr. Pappas?
Just for what it's worth, I think, I know Jerry's been working very hard for us over the last few months and years, actually. I've worked with him on a number of issues, and he's been stellar with the issues that I've had to deal with him, so I'm happy with him.
For the record, I'm not unhappy with him. I was just curious what our policy was. I thought we went out for bid for contracts. So I'm not saying I'm unhappy with him. I think he's been with us for a very long time, but I'm just making sure we're following our policy. So if you know.
Is that accurate?
I think the board has the authority to appoint the attorney, so there's a legal services, and I think is something that had been done for a number of years. Obviously, Jerry predates me, and I can't say when he started, but I believe this. I remember, so this will be my 6th year in the district, and I remember this, and when it lapsed, I went back to two other 2-year cycles, and this was the same process followed, those 2 years prior.
All right. I don't have any objection to keeping Mr. Grossman on because I think he's been tried and true and he knows the system and the city politics and it makes the most sense. And he's been very affluent in everything we've asked him to know. So I'm fine with it, but if there was another recommendation, I'd be fine with that too. I'm fine making a motion to recommend Jerry Grossman as the attorney.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just discussion purposes, it's a contract, so maybe at least discussing if in the next 2-year term that we actually go out just as a bid process to make sure that, even though I think Jerry does a phenomenal job, we're just doing our due diligence. And that's it, that's just a due diligence step.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I agree with right now, especially where due to the pandemic and a lot of other factors, it's good to have that consistency, and continuity in our legal, but at the same point, it's worth just seeing what's out there, though. Looking at his costs in the past, don't think you're gonna get a deal in which he provides us, and because of, but however,
Yeah, no, I totally understand
I think the cost will be a little bit more otherwise, but we shall look.
that. Ann, I'm gonna ask you a question, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to. Do you remember who the attorney before Jerry was?
Was it Wednesday, was it?
No, Wensley was the city attorney.
I was just thinking that. Remember who's?
Wensley was the city attorney forever.
Yeah.
When Chuck and I got married, and I'll tell you that's 43 years ago, so.
Yeah,
Jerry's been here as long as I've been on the board.
right. Yeah, I can't remember it. All right, good enough. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is financial items from personnel. We have 2. Title grants not to exceed for Jackie LaHoulier in the amount of $3,445.40, and not to exceed for Jennifer McLean in the amount of $2,739.10.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And just for the record, because they're title grants, that's why we read them here, just so there's on the same page, not that it impacts our budget, but just the right thing to do. I don't have anything else.
That was it.
How do you? All right, so from building, we have 2 actionables. First one is the bid from Skyline Roofing in the amount of $39,400 for the Spalding High School renovation.
So
I'll
moved.
make a motion. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Bollier?
Just to clarify, that's coming from CIP bonded item 21105.
Perfect, thank you. I just have one. Mr. Toddy, is that Firestone? Is that the Firestone product?
Carlisle is the specification that we go with, and but people are able to bid or equivalent. This is a Carlisle product.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Passes. Next item is the Spalding High School teacher parking lot. Mr. Toddy explained safety issue and concern. There was CIP budgeted in the amount of $205,000. The quote for the repair is $154,859.50 to Brock's Paving. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We didn't have anything from 5-year, right, Karen?
No.
All right, and we have no public, so no public comment, any other? Mr. Boyer?
The going out to bid to see if there's an architect would work with us, that would be in 5 years, not a 5-year item. No, that's for 5 years, I'll build it, that's off.
You have the date though, Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, so the request for qualifications has been issued, and before the full board next, it's the day of the full board meeting, we'll be opening the submissions. So at full board, Mr. Rapucci will at least be able to give you a list of names of bidders that were interested in working with us, and then we'll spend the following month reviewing and choosing a partner. September board meeting, we'll put a name forward.
Again, that conversation it wasn't a budget item now, it was to find a partner to work with, where we can make a plan. And again, it's just for us to get on that track for state funding.
Right.
Just want to clarify, because some people were confused, they were just hiring an architect for it.
Oh,
There's a plan.
yeah, no. All right, any other clarity on that? Anything else in there? Yep. We do have a non-public, so I'll make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A3 2D.
Second.
All right, need to roll call that.
Mr. Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Boyer?
Yes.
Mr. Kamara?